Live from SEMA 2019 at Magnaflow once again. We've got Fuel Cult with my co-host Joe Cariotti sitting next to me. I can't talk, which is great for podcasts. And then this morning we've got the gentleman from Speedkore.
Yep, Dave Salvaggio from Speedkore. And I got my man Mario here from GearHead Fabrications.
Hey, guys.
So where are you guys hailing from so the audience knows?
We're from Grafton, Wisconsin, and we're a carbon fiber performance build shop.
I think that's a little bit of an underselling on the carbon fiber performance. You guys go fucking crazy with it.
Well, you got to be, in this industry.
Yeah. So. It's, there are a lot of people that do some really crazy carbon work out there. I mean, specifically looking at like Horatio Pagani.
Yes.
He is a psychopath.
Oh, amazing carbon work. I went through his facility 2 years ago.
Oh, you did?
Oh, beautiful. He's got a beautiful titanium carbon weave that
he's
he patented.
He's in St. Agata as well, right?
He's in Modena.
Okay.
So, yeah, and a beautiful facility. I mean, everything that he does is great. And I drove a Pagani Raya on the Cannonball last week. So
yeah, there was one out front earlier, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you don't see a lot of Wyras.
Yeah. Oh, amazing car.
I really, really, really want to jump in the Zonda at some point.
Oh.
I mean, the Wyra is great, but the Zonda is a whole other thing.
Yeah, it made it. Yeah.
But you gotta tell me about driving that car. For just let's take a quick aside before we get into what we were going to talk about. Tell me about it.
It's great. It's like jewelry. It's like a watch. I mean, you get into it, and
not like a Fitbit.
Yeah, right. Like a real watch.
Yeah. Okay.
Mechanical. But everything is so thought out. The switches, everything, the ergonomics of the interior, the flow, and just the styling of the car. And then I respect other people in the carbon fiber world. It's got amazing weave, everything, the orientation, the way that he puts everything together. Koenigsegg is wonderful. I mean, look at the engineering, and that guy, he proves it. I mean, he's the guy. He's in it. He's setting records. He's doing everything.
He looks like a supervillain, but
oh yeah, he's the next Lex Luthor, right?
He's kind of the supervillain you want to be, though. Like he's like the guy you're rooting for.
Well, if he takes your money, it just doesn't feel that bad.
Right?
Like,
you're rooting for him.
Yeah, and I mean, one hell of a name too.
Oh yeah,
Von Koenigsegg,
right?
Jesus, doesn't get any more like old European blood than that.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, I mean, you kind of got to expect that he lives in like a castle somewhere.
One would think, yeah.
So we're here at the SEMA show. What do you have here? There's tons around.
Yeah, we debuted today at Magnaflow's booth our all-wheel drive, twin-turbo, wide-body, carbon fiber Dodge Charger. It was great. Dodge gave us a pre-production car. Mm-hmm. The new ones are coming out at the end of this year, beginning of next year. And that new wide body, I mean, the styling on everything that they did with that Charger totally changed it. The slab side, you look at it, it was great. But now this wide body thing, oh, it's beautiful.
It does look much better as the wide body.
Oh, yeah. Love it. And Mario runs one personally all the time. And I don't know what records you set with yours.
What, my personal car?
Mm-hmm.
None. Never been to the track.
No?
Not mine.
But you have a wide body.
I don't have a wide body.
Oh, okay.
He's got a slab side.
So. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to order the factory panels at a certain point too, if you really wanted to.
I might get some carbon fiber panels. If
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Get the hookup. I think you know a guy.
It can stand to lose a few pounds on that car. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And carbon fiber is a good way to do that. So, we did it with the Demon. So, backstory: almost a year and a half ago, the Dodge brothers. Well, there's some brothers here, Palermo brothers. Mm-hmm. And
that's a traveling circus, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I take so much offense to that.
So he approached us last year. He's like, "Hey, I got a Demon, and I want to make something cool with it." And he had a great budget, the budget you need to build cars and set records. So he's like the best customer you could ever have, and he pays right away. Great guy. And so he's like, "Hey, do something with my Demon." And I'm like, "All right, well, we'll just make it super fast and carbon fiber it up and do whatever." And it just evolved, we're like, hey, we're making this thing so light. How much power can we get out of it? And the Demon was amazing to begin with. I mean, it was a great car. It was all the rage last year. Mm-hmm. And then, so I talked to Mario, and Mario's like, yeah, we're going to twin turbo that thing up. So what do we do turbo-wise? Mario, help me out.
That one's got a 6885.
How
75, 68,
How
75.
much power does that pick up after you get rid of that parasitic loss from the blower?
I don't know how much per same boost. I don't remember. I know what it made. That thing made 1230 or something at the tire, I think it was. So that's all done.
Yeah.
And how much boost are we running?
That one's 24 pounds.
They've got to be, from the factory, they've got to be pretty close to the limit on that supercharger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pushing
the IATs have probably going to be through the roof, right?
Well, they are. We turn them up. From stock for sure, but IATs do go.
That's actually a twin screw. That's not a Roots, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
No, it's Roots. No, Roots.
It is a Roots?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think the GT500 is actually a twin screw. Somebody
Really?
released something that was a
No,
twin
it's a
screw.
twin screw, not a TVS.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
Sorry.
those literally the Eaton marketing guy lives 2 doors down from me in my apartment building.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I luckily I've got maybe an inroad on a supercharger or a diff.
Oh, wow.
So-
That's awesome.
Although I'm gonna keep my car normally aspirated, but yeah.
So you want to hear something crazy about that Demon? The best part is, so we set a record last year. What did we run? 877. And the best part about that Demon, we never touched the motor. It was all factory internals, everything, transmission, factory, diff, everything, factory.
Actually,
And
you were just making it lighter.
we made it lighter, and then, obviously the twin turbos. And I mean, Dodge really did a great job on that motor to hold all that power and,
for all
make
the
it this long.
problems I have with FCA,
Mhm.
their V8 drivetrains, you can't fault them.
Oh, amazing.
They're just
Great source of power.
yeah, they're reliable. I mean, it's almost kind of like looking back at the old Dodge stuff from like the 60s and 70s in terms of the engine architecture. It's just like of all the other sins that company has,
Yeah.
those are always good.
Yeah.
How is the tuning situation with those right now?
It's good. We were using HP tuners, and
So HP Tuner's actually fully unlocked it now.
yeah, they
okay.
come out with this
Oh, yeah.
program, and they came on board with us this year, and we help us set the record with that car. What did we run, an 8.6?
860.
Yeah,
absolutely.
860
That's got to
this
be
year
one
with
of
it.
the fastest ones out there, right? Like,
Yeah, we hold the
100%.
record right now.
Okay.
So, and one thing I like to always tell everybody, being competitive and having other shops go against us is great. It's healthy. We want it because then we're going to up our game and they're going to up their game. And it's all about, to use, I guess, Dodge's our slogan is, the brotherhood of muscle, But we have a car culture, right?
Right.
And you do stuff, I do stuff, we all do it. It's like being at this big festival with all these different bands, bringing everybody together. No one's better than anybody else, but we're all just doing something different. And it's just an amazing car culture. So that's what I like about, being competitive and having other shops and other people go against us and, going against Mario and whoever, whatever we're doing. So it makes you, cutting edge, be healthy.
I don't know about the better than everybody else thing. I mean, the knockoff Chinese tires. No, I'm better than them.
Yeah.
I'm better than them. You are too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Those
But-
things are terrifying. I don't even know why they come here.
God.
Yeah, I do like where you're at though with this kind of brotherhood of muscle and this whole marketing push that they have. But it is so true. You can go anywhere, like at the airport or wherever, and somebody's talking about a car, and they have these interests, they have stories about it,
Oh.
and I mean this show here obviously is kind of the pinnacle of that. But so when we're all here talking, there still are records, though. We're all gunning for it. But I think at the same time, we're all rooting to push the limits and see what the next. Right now everybody's kind of getting that 1,000, trying to get to that 1,000 number, and that's kind of let's make that the new standard.
Wait. Let's hold on for a second. We've gotten to the point where 8,000 is what people are gunning.
Oh,
for.
if you
new
come to
thing.
SEMA and you got less than 1,000, it's like, oh, what's the matter?
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
Unless you're a
it's
track
Things
car,
tight
you
for
know?
you?
Yeah.
You need some money? What is
But
it?
that's like exactly what we're talking about with this industry pushing forward. We're all the rising tide kind of
Oh.
raises all boats kind of thing. We're talking about 1,000 horsepower reliably, everyday driver cars.
yeah.
So
Well, and then the biggest problem with that is traction. I mean, tire techs come up so much to help with that. But I mean, there's a limit. So clearly, that's where you guys meet with the all-wheel drive system on the car that you just put together.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to that for next year. So, depending what we do with Dodge, and what's the event we're going to do with Dodge that we did this year?
Roadkill?
Roadkill Nights.
Roadkill Nights,
Yeah,
Where-
we're
where
looking
at?
forward to that in Detroit.
That's Detroit.
heck yeah. All right, cool.
So-
Yeah,
we'll be
goes
there.
out of Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Love it.
Nice.
That's where
Um,
all-wheel drive will shine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
Hopefully we'll get some rain. You guys
Are you
really
going to get away with using OEM parts on that all-wheel drive setup, or
We got some OEM parts in the rear right now, but we might have to upgrade that. It's got some Hellcat stuff.
Yeah.
But the transfer case and the other components all-wheel drive are all proprietary. It's all billet.
okay?
We just
Yeah, because they do sell an all-wheel drive V8 Charger. And
No, well, they have
Right?
a cop car that you
it's
have.
a Charger
Yeah.
police
Yeah.
car. We modeled it after that stuff,
Right.
so it fits.
Yeah.
But I can't use stock stuff.
It's
Yeah.
not 1-to-1. You can't just pop it in because of the tolerances, or
What's that?
in the
There's
transfer
just-
case?
Oh, and
Yes.
no, well, we need a stronger case as well. And we
Okay.
changed up.
Yeah,
something,
it would just explode, I'm sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we don't use any of the electronics from the all-wheel drive stuff. We got mechanical levers and things like that.
Oh, that's fun.
oh yeah.
So what are you able to do? So with the carbon drivetrain and then dropping that giant heavy roots blower and switching over to turbos, which aren't light, but at least they're lighter than a giant blower. What are you looking at weight-wise on those cars now?
You talking about the Demon? You talking about blower?
The Demon.
Okay. It didn't shave that much weight.
Demon, yeah, it was
People
only a
go
couple
crazy
hundred
saying
pounds.
that.
So what you start with the body, you can do 3, maybe 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And then it depends if you want to start getting the brakes. You got to run carbon ceramic brakes. But we wanted to keep that car full interior, full glass, and not cheat. Other guys are kind of doing that. They're gutting it. And, it's like, hey, this car is still street legal. The owner, he wants all the comfort, but he wants all this power. So we, I think we're pretty proud that we set these records and still had a complete car that wasn't gutted and loud and noisy and obnoxious.
Still
So-
has an air compressor in the trunk. Nothing's
Yeah.
been removed.
Yeah, it's
all
crazy.
the panels, everything's there.
Yeah, carpet in the trunk, everything. I mean,
People
it's
call it a pro mod all the time, but it's a
Wow.
it's a fully Dodge built car.
It's a
and we added some
usable
stuff.
everyday car.
Yeah, I've driven it on the highway. Nice.
I mean, it might get a little expensive to drive it everywhere at 1,000 horsepower.
The 85 is cheap.
Yeah. Oh, and plentiful too.
Yeah.
It's still got 8 speed, so I mean, we got overdrive, we got everything we need.
Yeah.
It's
Really not that
terrible.
bad.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it was coming out here, and it was just like, nope, my fuel economy. I came out. We came out in Macon, and the fuel economy in that was shit.
Really? Oh, I would have
yeah.
thought that. Wow.
Yeah, 16.8 miles per gallon
Really?
from LA.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
What was
So
that?
what cars changed it
On a
for you
Macan.
guys? What got you hooked? What cars? What was the first one? High school, middle school, whatever. What was like, I need to be in this industry?
I mean, I didn't get into the industry until much later, but I mean, the first one I had that was fun that got me in was a 4th gen Camaro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That car was modified fully and poorly as you do when you're 18.
Oh, yeah.
All power, no brakes or handling. So exactly what you want.
That's how you learn, Chris. That's how,
Yeah.
American muscle. All
Right.
power, no brakes. Yeah.
yeah. that's-
Handling, we don't need that. We're
When
going
I was
straight
completely
line.
broke, I ran around with open headers for like 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was Florida, where everything is kind of legal.
Yeah. It's legal if you don't get caught, right?
There's not even a penalty for that there. That's the amazing thing.
Oh.
You're just like, you're going to get called out and cops going to go, come on, what are you doing? You're a dick.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
What about you?
So, that's such a weird question because you're asking it, and I'm glad, we get an interview. This is great. But asking the question, I can't remember a car that kind of
Really? That changed it?
changed it.
Was there something like your family had,
Right,
your
yeah.
friends had, you were jealous, you were
Serious-
riding the bus like a loser and
This is-
everybody's passing you?
No,
I mean,
it was just as long as I can remember. I've always been into it. But this is like the Italian connection from Italy. My zia Concentina. She sent me a Ferrari F40 model,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that probably started something. It was like one of the really nice. I forget who manufactures these nice models.
Like diecast one?
Yeah, a diecast,
Yeah.
like some Italian company, really
Wow.
nice model, and I immediately ruined it because I'm playing with the thing. So that's probably what got me into
Wow.
cars was
Got your fix.
an actual model, and then I'm like, all right, now I have to watch every episode of Auto Week.
Right.
So
Oh, it's the worst
what
addiction.
about you? What got you into it?
So, being a loser riding the bus freshman year, you can't get any dates because, the freshman girls are going to date, the juniors and the seniors and everything
Those
else.
guys with their Jettas.
Yeah. Right. So I graduated in 94, it was about jacked up trucks and, whatever else, lame
Where
Camaros.
Where at?
Milwaukee. Oh, in Cedarburg, Wisconsin.
Okay, that's
So,
definitely
yeah.
jacked up truck
Wow.
territory.
totally.
A lot of Fox bodies and 3rd gens at that point.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
So there was this on our bus route as freshman year. You're 15, you don't have a license, whatever, you're a loser. And there was a '69 Charger up on blocks next to this garage, and I would always pass it every day. And I was like, oh my, that thing
And
was
that's
just badass.
And those things were cheap back then.
Oh, I
too.
know.
super cheap. Now
Yeah.
you can't find them anywhere.
That, I wish I'd stocked up on
Old muscle.
shitty 911s.
Oh my
10
God.
years
Whoever
ago.
would have thought?
Yeah,
was
I know.
like crazy, but yeah, that gave me my fix. And then moving in, I liked Mustangs for a while, and watching Bullet, Steve McQueen, Car Chase, all that. Dude, I was hooked. You know what I mean? So, and I come from a family of race car drivers, and that go back to Italy, that came to America with nothing, and ate large sandwiches, and worked in Milwaukee, and they just developed engineering, and it was
We're gonna
crazy.
go from the beautiful countryside to
Milwaukee, yeah. The land of serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed Gein. So.
Yeah. Ed Gein's the crazy. He's the creepiest one out of them all. Though.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
We won't get into skin lamps.
Mario, what got you into vehicles?
I was actually a bit confused. I'm a GM guy who got a Mustang at first,
Weird.
1970 coupe, and they had open headers and no brakes and the whole nine, like you were talking about.
The Florida package.
Yep, I
Yeah.
fell in love with that thing, and now I make a living on Dodge stuff.
That's
So
just-
it's the big three. I like the
Do
American.
you ever see you guys branching out beyond just Mopar stuff? Or
Oh, yeah. We've done Mustangs, GT350s,
Yeah.
GT350Rs. We're doing a Ford GT that's going to be, I mean, they're carbon already, but we want to do an exposed weave all the way around and
current
really show it.
GT or the previous gen GT?
Current one.
Yeah.
So we have one now. We were allowed to get one from Ford, which is fantastic. Great car, by the way. I mean, just amazing. Track car. I can't wait. So I drove that on the Cannonball. And then, so we're going to make a bunch of carbon fiber body panels for that. Show the exposed weave. I mean, the car, the lines, everything's flowing on that car. So just to have full exposed carbon, I think it's going to be beautiful.
So, it's already carbon. Do you get anything out of adding your weave to it?
Yeah, because, they put, and it's great, they have seams from the factory and they put it together. So I want to have a seamless car that shows every panel exposed weave. I think it's going to be gorgeous.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see that because, I mean, everybody, they'll have black ones or they'll have like a Nardo gray and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. And that's all cool, but I want one that's going to be different, and everybody's like, I know that car. I want to see that
So
car.
you guys just do another layer right over top, or
No, we 3D scan it. We machine molds. We make carbon fiber molds from that. And then we autoclave everything. And then it comes out and we'll have it fitting just as nice as what Ford did on theirs. So
and
it's
you've
a
got
process.
yourself some very expensive body kits you can sell too.
Yeah. Well, and people are going to be crashing these things, right? I mean, it's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
You're going to go to the Ford dealer. Oh, I need my new GT kit. So, yeah.
Wasn't it? Didn't Eddie Griffin crash that, or was it a Ferrari? I can't.
He did
recall.
Ferrari.
That was a
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah. He nailed that wall. But
Oh yeah. that
people are
was-
going to do it with the GT. I mean, it's coming.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Well, that goes back to the 1,000 horsepower thing we were talking about earlier. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you think back a few years and it's like, wow, this thing has 300 horsepower. Great. now it's
But internet racing is such bullshit anyway.
It
because
is.
Once you get north of 400, you're like, oh, that's fast.
Oh.
So long as it's not heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you're north of 400, you're like, yeah, that's fast.
I can't trust myself with that much. Seriously, as a daily driver, I drive a Miata because if I have that much power, I'm going to be speeding, and I still get pulled over with this thing because I'm taking turns too quick.
I
It's
still
scary.
say it's time for a motor swap.
Oh man. Oh well, the ideal motor spot for that Hayabusa motor with the sequential shift transmission.
Yeah,
That's what if anybody can hook that
Love
up, let me know.
Uh,
It's either that or can we do an electric with a sequential manual, or is that
What do you guys think about that? I mean, is that really, are we going to be building muscle cars electric here,
Heck
in
yeah.
the
Oh,
next couple of years? I mean, what do you think?
yeah, absolutely.
I know it's all power right away, but do you think it takes away from the craft, or what do you guys
Definitely.
think?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
it,
Not taken away from the craft.
you
I
think
won't
it's going
say
to
that.
add to it in a different technical standpoint?
It's going to have to exist simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Parallel.
parallel. Yes. Very nice. Thanks for the wink. Yeah. The thing is, you can jump in like an e-tron right now, like an Audi e-tron just comes out. It's an SUV. It's kind of does a little bit everything, and you map that thing, and it is fast. So like, there's no substitute for speed.
Have you been in like a P100D in ludicrous mode?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me.
The
experience.
Yeah, it is violent, more violent than any drag car you've ever been in. Unless you've driven a top fuel car,
Right.
it's more violent than anything you've ever been
Any
in.
of these sub
just-
3 seconds 0 to 60 times are. I think some of the romance gets taken out of it though, because the engine. But I think you start interjecting some of the engine sound into the speakers, which that's a whole
What?
Do
conversation.
you think the customers with money would want that? I mean, what do you think? Who's going to be the cutting edge guy that's going to be like, hey, I want $1 million build and I want it to be electric and
Well-
I want it to be the first one?
John Ward's been doing some of those
Oh,
over
really?
at Icon. So,
Broncos or?
I think he did one of his derelict cars most
Oh, did he?
recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
think-
great, by the way. I love his designs, and he is salt of the earth guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
John, for being a child actor, he turned out astoundingly normal.
Yeah,
Tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
him and Macaulay Culkin, right? Yeah, it was great.
Well,
No,
yeah,
joking.
Macaulay Culkin, he's real salt of the earth, Icon Design did some amazing work. Their Broncos and everything are really rad. But
Oh, beautiful.
I like the derelict cars more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Are you
I
guys?
respect his work.
Are you guys somehow? Do you have to make some accommodations for electric vehicles? Do you see that coming down the road?
We would like to. I mean, doing a lot of carbon fiber and getting, it's all about weight, right, with electric. So we see it coming, and the only thing structurally sound enough is carbon fiber, to handle that and make it thin and light and go longer and get more out of the battery. So, I mean, I see it coming, and I know the big three are all looking at it, but right now, electric in a production is less than 2% of the market,
Right.
and everyone's going after it, and it's great. It's like the cell phone wars, right? How many cell phone companies were around 10, 15 years ago, and now, you got 3, maybe 4, and I think the same thing is going to happen with electric vehicles, and I'm sure VW is going to crush it in Europe, and the European model about cars is way different than the Americans.
Well, they also get the benefit with the VW is that Porsche's doing all the R&D, and it's trickling down to Audi, and then it'll hit regular VWs eventually as well. So
couldn't agree more. Yeah.
it's just it's a really nice setup. I mean, that 800 watt charging system is just way far ahead of it. Did you see they actually smoked the Tesla on the
No,
drag
I didn't see
times?
that. Wow.
Oh yeah, Elon got pissed.
Hey, do you blame him? But now he's going to up his game.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
the
but the
rising
thing-
tide.
Right.
You're also comparing a car with like an $80,000 deficit in terms of price versus the Taycan.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on. One, you're fighting Porsche. Good luck.
Oh, that's a losing battle.
They some of the best engineers in the industry, far gone. And then the second thing is, it's like, it's it's 80 to 100K more than that car. It's not even the same segment. I mean, you're going to get a lot of overlap between buyers, especially where I live out in LA, where people are just like, I just want the most expensive one you sell.
Yeah.
You get some people that
they
buy
check
stuff.
that box.
Oh yeah, no, there's tons of people that just go. The number of people I see cruising around in like G63 wagons is absurd.
Oh,
Just
I can't
because
even
they
imagine.
have to have the highest spec one.
Off the hook.
It's
So-
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, how many Siemens is this for you guys?
For Speedkore, since we debuted Tantrum, that was a 70 Charger, twin turbo, 1650 horse, and that was 5 years ago. And then we did Menace after that, and that was wonderful. That was 70 CUDA. Obviously, you probably heard of it with Kevin Hart. That was a great experience.
Beautiful
and,
car,
yeah. And then we did a bunch of carbon fiber work to the Hellcats, and we did some stuff with Ford, some Mustangs. So it was great. And I don't know. So I've been coming to SEMA since, I think, 05. So, I mean, it's been great. Every year it's getting bigger. And I like seeing other people's work because, we're all only as good as what we are. And we're never going to get better if we don't, learn every day from other craftsmen here. And it's like, holy cow, that guy nailed it. You know what I mean? And then you got to look at yourself and be like,
Why didn't I think of that?
yeah, I got to adjust what I'm doing, and then it's like, but it's great because it keeps you cutting edge.
I mean, it was back in the day. The only builder that everybody knew was like Foose.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, Chip does amazing work, but it's of a certain style.
Yes.
And then you get people like Classic Recreations that do amazing work, or Ring Brothers are going to be on after us, and it's
they
just
do
like
great.
nobody is like a big rivalry with anybody else. They're all just like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to do that thing on my next project too.
Yeah, it's all inspiration.
Yeah.
So I love it.
It's almost kind of an art show of sorts.
Yeah.
Depending on, like, if you're not here to like wheel and deal and everything, for people like us, we go around and go, ooh, those
Right.
welds are really nice.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's kind of like it's art cars, but for engineering nerds or in car enthusiasts. So
One thing I want to see in the industry, and it's funny, everybody can make art into cars, but I look at longevity and serviceability.
Right.
A lot of people build beautiful stuff, but all of a sudden something breaks, and they're like, yeah, you got to pull out the motor to change that bolt.
Or you got to spend, $15K to machine a new part because that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Mario's nodding. He knows about this.
All about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Factory or at least plentiful aftermarket components are really helpful.
Oh,
Have you guys seen anything on the show that's got you thinking right now?
I haven't got a chance to really walk around yet. It's been crazy with setup, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing, what everybody else is bringing. I think Ring Brothers are bringing a Camaro, which is great. I've always been a big fan of Troy Trepagna from Rad Rides. I'm not sure what he has here this year, but I love looking at his work. And, Roadster Shop, they build some amazing vehicles. I love to see what they're doing. So, and, it's all great. And they're all from the Midwest. So it's funny. You got the California car culture,
Okay.
and then you got the Midwest car culture, right?
What's the differences?
It's funny because 10 years ago, everything was going on in California, all the best builders,
Mhm.
everybody, ideas and everything else. But now there's like a big shift in the Midwest. So I don't know. Is it the long winters? You tell me. You're in Detroit.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I thought about this, 10 years ago. I'm thinking about this because, Detroit calls itself the Motor City. Okay, we are, whatever. But when you go to California or any of the whole West Coast, basically California, you get to see car culture all year round. So they have an advantage there.
Yeah.
At least for the performance cars in the twisty canyons. I don't know. It's an interesting mix though when you get the East and the West kind of meeting up, and but here we're all car people. I don't know. I don't have a good. I'm just wondering what separates it in your mind, if there is a separation, because there definitely was 10 years ago. There was a big gap, and I think that gap has lessened greatly.
Yeah. I think it takes like three great things to build a car. You got to have the customer, and the best thing a customer could ever do is just give the drawing pad over to you and be like, I want whatever car I want. Show me what you can do. So you got to be creative with that customer. The other thing, and I hate to say it, it's the budget. You make sure that customer's like, yeah, I got 100,000. Can you build me a Riddler car? It's like, no, I can't. So you got to make sure they got the budget,
Like $100,000. Go buy yourself a nice Lexus.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And you'll be happier,
Yeah.
So, and, the other thing when I went back to is the serviceability and longevity and ride and comfort. Because again, that combination of all that, that makes a great experience. And then these customers come back and they love it. And, they're all about you and you're a great company. And then you expand and, you grow. So, I mean, look at Foos, and like you were talking about him before, got a great brand, probably the best brand here. You know what I mean? And he's a great guy. So, what a wonderful combination.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of nice guys, but I mean, some of the really famous guys actually are pretty big assholes behind the scenes. But Chip is actually, well, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Boyd Coddington wasn't known for being the greatest guy around.
No, he was not. So, there are some people from running very, very big aftermarket companies that I'm not going to call out that are hell to work for, but they've been a gift to the industry and kind of science overall.
That's not just a car industry thing, though. I think it takes a certain type of personality to push that kind of greatness sometimes.
Oh, totally.
And not saying that you have to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Just,
You're obsessive compulsive, you're an asshole, and you have no friends, and you're going to spend 20 hours a day in the shop. See how you turn out.
There's that right mix of person that can inspire someone to do that because they know they're making something groundbreaking.
Yeah.
That's hard to find.
So what makes the builder? Is it what's instilled in him from the beginning, or is it what he's learned over time being creative? Is there certain mental, capacity that people have because that they're so precise and they have that, ability, or is it
people are just born to build shit?
Yeah.
Most of it's passion.
Right.
You gotta have passion for the craft 100%.
Because then
it's just a job.
You're never going to be tired if you're thinking about it as you're drifting off to sleep. You're like, oh man, what if I change the way I implement this thing? Or
100%. That's why I don't sleep.
Well, that's that and all this coffee. No. What are you thinking about right now? What's keeping you up? What's keeping your passion going right now?
The next build, or one we've already done. How to make it better, faster. What would I change on the next one?
Oh, isn't that killer when you get something, you release it, you're done, and then you're like, son of a gun. Like,
I'm never happy with it because you got more to do.
And everybody thinks it's amazing, but you're like, there's that thing there, and if I just change that,
and nobody else notices.
Usually nobody notices it, but I'm thinking about it. It's me. Yeah.
So the next build's going to be even better because this, and this are going to change.
Oh, 100%.
That's fire in your eyes. I love it.
We got a Charger we're doing for Goldberg, which is going to be twin turbo as well, and wide body and everything else. So he's like, I need to up this. So, it's always, one-upmanship, and I don't know what we're going to be pushing for power out of that, but it's going to be rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive.
Whatever we want to do. He left it up to us.
Yeah.
Make it loud and mean.
He's used to crazy cars.
Yeah, pretty much.
I used to work right across the street from Source Interlink, which is for the uninitiated, Motor Trend and Hot Rod and all that fun stuff. And he was always over there with whatever freaking car that he had.
Oh, I can imagine.
Probably one of yours at a certain point.
Yeah. Well, he's enjoying our stuff right now, so that's great. Next year, we're doing a car for Ralph Giles, and from FCA.
Yep.
And we're doing a '68 Charger. We've always done '70s in the past, but really looking forward to doing something with the front bumper and the hood that actually ends on like the '70 styling. So That's going to be pretty amazing. So we're going to debut that, and
Probably put like a elephant motor in it or something.
he wants that motor in
Yeah.
it, but Mario's already built him something that's capable of holding, 1,500 horse all
I would
day.
say all day, yeah.
So we're going to give him 1,000, but we're going to be like, hey, if you want to step it up, the motor's already ready for 1,500. Because it seems like as soon as you tell somebody, like, it'll be the first day of the build. They're like, you sure 800 horses enough? Yeah, that's all I need. I don't need more. All of a sudden, you finish the car, and they're like, well, I kind of want 1,000. And it's like, oh, you should
Let's make it a nice round number.
Yeah, exactly.
I think his limitation was fuel. He wanted to run pump gas.
He does want to run
wasn't
pump
willing
gas.
to go, E85 or something like
But
that.
that's,
so
I
you're
mean,
limited.
the difference between 1,000 and 1,500 mostly is a fuel system at that point, isn't it?
Oh, well, boost and supporting mods, 100%.
Well, yeah, but
just
I mean,
because the motor will
the
handle it.
internals and everything you're going to be pretty stout either way. So,
If you build it, if you build it stout enough, for sure.
do you have a particular brand of like rods and pistons that you prefer?
I use a lot of diamond stuff,
Yeah.
and we use some Manly rods and some Cali stuff. I mean,
Okay.
that's my preference. It's what I know. Not saying there's not better. Or
Cali's
whatever.
cranks or
Cali's cranks, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they make some stuff. They get that famous Dragon Slayer crank on
Yep.
the LS side of things.
Yep.
I'm imagining they've got an analog in the LX world.
Believe it or not, I use a lot of stock cranks as well.
Yeah.
So the Hellcat stuff, it's all forged. Good stuff. The
Yeah.
Demon stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
good.
really. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not 20 years ago where people used to break cranks anytime.
Right, the bottom end of
Factory-
engines tend to be pretty robust nowadays because I think they engineer them like that from the factory so they could just crank up the boost, slap a supercharger on them.
For sure.
And they don't have to worry about re-engineering the whole bottom part of the engine.
And then I always take the blower off, so it's not pulling on the crank, and there's no problems there.
Are you doing dry sump systems on these cars? Or?
Some of them we are.
Yeah, in Evolution last year, the 70 Charger, that was dry sump. And that thing wound up fast.
I think that's going to be the next big trend. I think everybody's going to go dry sump on their motors.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, speaking of trends, what do you guys see coming down as far as a trend?
It's a good question. You wonder, you're looking at the muscle car world, and how long is that going to be around where people are in the late 60s, early 70s stuff? That's one thing. And then, what's the next generation going to want? Are we going to be building Fox bodies, and are people going to be spending all this money
Dude,
on
it's
it?
already been
100%.
It's already been happening on the West
100
Coast.
they're rare,
Fox
they're
body
expensive.
prices-
Are they going to be, really spending money, though? I mean, like, huge
I know
budgets?
people that are
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of budgets are you thinking?
200K.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know anybody spending 200K,
I mean-
but Chris is more connected than I am in that world.
It's. I think
I've known some people to spend some money on them.
Really, on a Fox body?
On a Fox body, and
Yeah.
they collect
I'd
them.
be-
So
I
don't-
they want low mileage
That's
stuff.
not surprising, but it is like, okay, so the Fox body is going to be the next Mustang, but is that going to be the next trend? Because you start seeing, once that Fox body started making the scene in the early 80s, but like didn't really come alive till late 80s. That's kind of when you start talking about Japanese manufacturers too. And I know, we're from the Midwest, so we don't know about Japanese manufacturers,
Right.
but someone told me about them one time. Do you think that they're going to be around at all? Like, is that part of the tuning game? Is that, I know it's maybe outside of where your guys are
outside of
or
my wheelhouse. for
wheelhouse,
sure.
yeah. But is that going to be a trend that we're going to start seeing here at SEMA more? I mean, obviously we have new
I mean,
Supras.
We've got Integras hitting over 100K on auction blocks now.
Really?
So, oh yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's
It
some
is.
serious love going on for them these
Well,
days.
there is the old Supras, and I mean,
Supras for sure.
they're all about it. So for sure,
New Supras.
Yeah.
Datsuns are popular too.
I think
240s.
240s and 260s are gonna hit real hard,
Mhm.
especially the 260 because they're a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But
But they were sexy. They were sexy back then, and they're
Oh, yeah,
sexy
yeah.
now. So,
I think that's the thing. Like, they have the look, and they have enough room in the engine bay to do whatever, and I think they captivated enough attention where that you can see that T240 is going to start approaching here. But as far as the American side of things, which you guys are interested in, Fox body is the next logical choice. I can't really see
I'm
anything
thinking-
between that.
like Starions, maybe.
Ooh,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that was a DSM car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what was the Dodge equivalent of that? I can't remember.
Constellation. No.
Stand by.
I saw one built years ago as a drift car. It was really cool.
really wicked.
Yeah.
It'll come to me.
Would you guys actually entertain working on something kind of like that?
Oh, love to.
Yeah.
I want to do something different all the time, because you get stuck with American muscle all the time. I shouldn't say stuck. I mean, it's creative, but how many certain things are you going to be into? It's nice to jump around, work on something else, hone your skills, and then go back. So, I love it. Anything that's fast, anything that you can be creative with,
Mhm.
anything that has style. And the biggest thing I always say is like timeless. I want everything that we work on to be timeless. Not where you like you look back 30 years and like see the Dirk Diggler Corvette that somebody did a mural on the side, and it's like, hey, remember when Speedkore did that Dirk Diggler Corvette? I'm like,
Although
I forgot about that.
That could be timeless now.
Yeah.
Right? I think you're onto something.
Stuff always comes back around.
Don't take my idea.
Yeah, I think we've got a few that are trending. I mean, we've got the Fox bodies that are already popping off, and then we got third gen Camaros and Firebirds. There's a few IROCs kicking around here already. I saw.
Yeah, I
that.
saw the IROCs were coming back big time.
I think we got-
Which is actually it's a cool car. It was cool
I
then.
think that is something. The IROC Camaros and all those.
well, they've
Zs,
got you can do IRS kits on those cars
Yeah.
now, too. So I mean, they've
those
got
have to come back in a big way, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, they've got all the structural rigidity of like uncooked bacon at this point,
There you
but
go.
like that could be fixed
It's
with
like a Fox
cage.
body.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
all of them were
It was
crap
of-
back then.
that was of the time.
Convertible Fox body.
Would you guys? I mean, we get those. I think maybe Turbo Regals and fake Grand Natties might hit.
Oh,
I would say the Grand
I'm
Nationals.
seeing a lot of
100% popular.
yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that already right now. The Grand National tributes, we like to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the regular T types are way cheaper. So like,
Yeah,
If
but
you
I
don't
mean, it's
care-
not. It doesn't take much to turn a T-type into a Grand National.
no, it takes
a coat of black paint, some.
an intercooler.
Yeah,
Well, the aftermarket's there for it.
Yeah.
The chassis and everything else. I mean, it's just a G body, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're fast and you can make them go fast.
Yeah.
what's the Oldsmobile version? You could. It was a Cutlass. Yeah,
it was
Yeah.
the Cutty.
Cutlass?
yeah.
Yeah.
Turn Cutlass into a
I'm
tribute.
trying to think of like what was out
Why not?
in the Mopar world back then that was actually.
Oh God.
They were pretty,
Well-
those were pretty sad days.
Iacocca came back and kind of reinvented a bunch of things in the
the
early
GLHs were
90s.
so like low
low.
production.
yeah, but
and-
the GLHs are also all front wheel drive too.
Yeah, but that's still.
Remember the Shelby Charger from the
Oh,
80s?
what a
and
weird thing.
I was like, wait a minute, what
Yeah.
happened with that? And then they had the
Plymouth
Shelby
Laser.
Omni or whatever.
Laser.
Yeah, laser.
Those
the
are
Plymouth
legit
Laser,
though.
yeah.
Those laser all-wheel drives. Oh man, I like the Diamond Star motors, man. I like. They're fast.
That's one of the ones I think first and second gen Eclipses
Yes,
are going to
that's
hit
for sure.
real hard.
Yeah.
Second gen Eclipses are to this day built like shit.
She agrees.
Very pretty car.
She's agreeing.
Very pretty car. I think we're going to get those. I'm trying to think of what else was hitting big back then.
The 3000 GT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
All-wheel
good one.
drive.
That thing is such a mechanical nightmare, though.
You're talking about rebuilding it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Well,
And
I'm
it's
just
not
kinda-
like not every one of them are the VR4 versions either. So like you know you don't have to start there.
they're just so
Vacuum
Like,
line nightmares.
Oh my god!
that's what I'm just like dreading right there. I'm like,
Look like wiring harness.
I actually rear-ended someone looking at a 3000 GT. I that was the first time I just was starting to drive. 16 years old, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the Gran Turismo car that I like. What is that? And just a little tap in front of
smash.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, embarrassing. That's why I talk about it. Get it
Oh,
out
that's
there.
okay. It happened in Detroit. They replaced it for like 25 cents on a family
And
plan,
actually,
right?
I rear-end a Chevy Beretta with
Beretta.
with an Oldsmobile Cutlass. So because I was looking at a foreign car,
if you had only told both of them, you would have been doing the world a favor.
it was just a little love tap. The lady got out and was like, "Oh man, whatever."
So, gonna have to ask this one: what is the jankiest, craziest thing you've ever seen at SEMA?
Oh man, I'm trying to think.
Because there's
What was
some
really off
we
the
see
hook?
some junk. That's for sure.
Oh, totally. Trying to imagine.
I
What have
like.
you seen?
Or do you have a particular thing that always just sticks out, and you're like, ew?
Last year, the Mustang with the Lambo motor.
Oh wow!
Or was it a Ferrari engine? Might have been a Ferrari engine.
It was
think
a
it was
Ferrari engine,
Ferrari.
yeah.
That thing was.
I saw him
mean,
go around the track
nice
at
car.
Good Guys. Yeah.
That's thinking outside the box right there.
Yeah.
I like seeing that though. That because I think we're all over the LS swap everything, right? Like everybody.
It's a reliable choice. It's
There's
like,
no- there's
Now to
nothing-
be a
But
Henry
it's like
not
it's like you phoned it in though. It's like
I
I
don't necessarily but I get it. Like it's like I tell you guys to drive a Miata, you guys get it. But like it's the same thing. Like nobody cares. But like that's why when you meant janky, I think you meant like kind of weird.
weird or just poorly done.
But
Just like
but I like where Mario took it, where it was like a little bit out of the box
Mhm.
because like especially with the Ford Ferrari.
Well, nobody wants to talk about the junk. You want to talk about the nice stuff. That's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that those kind of crazy swaps are always
the one I want to see is Are you guys familiar with the Barra motor?
Yeah.
Uh,
I have one.
Oh, you have a Barra motor?
I do.
What do you have? So that's the straight 6 from a Ford Falcon in
Oh,
Australia.
yeah.
And you can get them in turbocharged variants.
It's just laying
There's
around.
a single overhead cam, there's a dual overhead. I have a single overhead.
Yeah.
Out
Do you
of a-
just like? Is it a coffee table? Where
No,
do you
I'm
have
putting,
this?
I'm putting it in my 70 Mustang.
Thank you.
Oh,
I've been
dude.
begging somebody to do that for years.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It's getting a 9-inch rear. It's a back half car. Turbo 400 trans. I got adapter belt for it already. Motors built, rods, pistons, the whole 9.
Where
Quarter
are we
polish
going to
head.
see this?
I
He's
don't
got to
know.
have time to work on it. He's always working on our stuff.
guys
He never
keep- you
gets
guys
a
keep-
He's
chance.
going to build me some carbon parts. It's a
Yeah,
70.
I got a whole front end
He's
for it
got
already.
Downey Jr.
That's going to be
Yeah.
dope.
I
That's
am
going to be
excited.
really dope.
But it's built. I mean, make 1,000 or so.
Well, the thing is,
Apparently,
it's
it's
a
nothing
different.
anymore.
It's a different characteristic for that car, though. Everybody's used to just going, okay, 302 or 351.
I had a Windsor in there.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
set it up with a turbo. I put a single 70 mil in there. I had the back half done, everything else. And I was going that route. And one day I saw a video of a guy in Australia and he had a barrel motor. And I go, it's over.
And they're cheap.
Wow.
They're not cheap when you build them and you ship them
Well,
across the
well,
earth.
I mean, relatively on.
And then you pay duties and then it's stuck in California and you got to get it over here. And it's stuck in Hialeah and then you got to pay duties again. It's not cheap.
Oh, you're
That's-
going into Hialeah. That's why.
What's the difference?
That's where it came in. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, the difference is
it started.
to ship stuff. So I've talked to guys that ship stuff back and forth between Australia and Long Beach, and it's a lot cheaper to ship to Long Beach than
Well, it came into California somewhere. I don't remember where. And then it was truck freighted to Hialeah. It was some hub
the
that was
hell?
over there. I
That's
mean,
weird.
Look, I got my engine.
You did good.
That's
Right.
all that matters.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait to hear that thing.
SEMA next year or what, Mario?
Probably not next year.
Are you?
but
So you're
we'll see
having to
what
order everything from. You're having to order everything from Australia.
happens. Not really. I mean, I got the motor done. The guy actually built it down there. I had to
Okay.
build it that way, so I know it's all ready to go. It's got all the sensors and everything on there.
Oh,
I built an
great.
intake for it. I still got to build a turbo kit, and I'm just going to run it on a Holly EFI or something like that. Rock and roll.
That's gonna be great. We don't see enough of that here.
Yep.
Not yet.
No, that's what I like. The different. I'm not even a Ford guy. I thought it was cool. I fell in love with it, and
Yeah, it's different. Why not do it?
worked until I could pay for it. That's it. But I got it sitting at the shop.
It's
Yeah.
good to be different.
I'm glad you're keeping him busy so he can do cool stuff like that.
One of the best fabricators I know.
Oh, thanks.
I still want to see an old drop top Lincoln with like a barrel motor in it, or maybe a Coyote or something.
It'll be a thing. I wanted to. I want to see more of those things.
Well, I'm
for
glad
sure.
you're doing it because I think that's going to become a very popular option in a few years.
Well, it can't beat it. It's 4 liters already. Everybody's stroking out Supras to make them, 3.4 or 4 liter or whatever.
Yeah, from my understanding, the biggest downside on the barrel motor is just the cylinder heads aren't great.
Well, we upgraded all that. It's got like 460 big block head studs. So
What?
I mean, it's all drilled. I mean, it's
What like year?
like an 06 Falcon motor.
Okay.
The XLR.
Ooh,
XR6 turbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be beastly.
There's actually the guy that put the thing together for me. His name's John. He's got an orange 65 Mustang down there that's running, I think, 780, Zato, something like that.
Pretty
He just
impressive.
put a V8 in a car, but he was doing it with the Barra for a while.
That's I think when you start talking about that kind of stuff, that's when the 1,000 horsepower market, like that doesn't matter. Like it's the craftsmanship, it's the passion, and
It'll
it's
be-
like
But that
wow.
car won't be 4,600 pounds like everything we're working on. So
I
it
think
will be
it-
fast.
yeah,
It'll be
I-
a back half car with a 9-inch, a big tire, proper 4-link.
What a warped word fast has become.
Yeah.
Like what? So, anything's fast when you drive a Miata.
So you're going to a straight regular old 9-inch on the rear. No IRS, huh?
No, it wasn't. Well, I've been building this car for probably 15 years now,
Yeah.
10, whatever. And that wasn't a thing back then. I was doing chassis work back then. So that's what I knew was 4 links, chassis work, that type of thing. Back halves, big tubs. Now I don't do that anymore. Now I'm in love with the IRS stuff, but I'm not going to unbuild it to rebuild it. It'll never get done.
I
Yeah.
was fascinated with the amount of pushback that IRS was getting when the Mustang, or first the Camaro did it with the 5th gen, then the Mustang followed up shortly thereafter, and all these people that were losing their mind over not having a straight axle in the rear. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Every other
Oh.
performance car on earth ditched this
For
40
me,
years ago.
if I can go fast on something that nobody else is doing, other guys are doing it. But if I can do it where it's hard for someone else, then I like it. So I like the IRS stuff, and I don't want to change it. So all these Challengers and Chargers and stuff we're working on, I stick with the IRS.
Yeah. How do they, as far as like the rear ends and stuff like that, I go, how far can you take the factory ones before they just go pop?
Loaded question. You talking about arms or diffs or?
Let's just hit any of them. Where are your failure points on those cars typically?
Usually the differential depends on the year span that we're talking about. But like the Hellcats and stuff,
Hellcats.
the diffs hold up really well. I've made axles. I've been 950s on a stock axle, but they start twisting. But I mean, it's to be expected.
How is axle hop on those?
Terrible if you don't get the tires right. It'll wheel hop. It'll break the diff. We got diff braces now to solve that. Then it'll break drive shafts. Aftermarket drive shafts to solve that. And then I've broken transmission output shafts if you get in a bad wheel hop. And some customers don't lift if they're new or whatever.
Yeah. Have you ever experimented with the differential diameter axles to mitigate wheel hop?
No, I have not.
Because GM's doing that on factory cars these days to try and kill some of the wheel hop.
Or like one bigger than the other, you're talking about?
Yeah.
It's like a factory Hellcat's got that. But when we upgrade
they are
them,
from that way from the factory.
But
Okay.
if we upgrade that, we got like a DSS axles, just the same left and right.
Yeah. I wonder if that.
But it's all driver style. We don't wheel hop if you drive it right. If
Well,
you just mat it out the gate and the tires aren't right and the track's not there, it'll do it.
But I mean, that's at least half the meatheads that drive these things. I mean, let's be honest.
But I mean, on a factory rear suspension, as far as arms and things like that, I've been a 1.2 160 foot in a Charger.
Okay.
I mean, that's getting down the road. It has an 8.8 fabricated center section, but I mean, that's actually the fastest nitrous Hemi in the world right now.
So you guys are in Wisconsin, which is not exactly renowned for its crazy driving roads.
Very true.
But
we're not as bad as Detroit.
Hey,
no, Detroit.
that's true.
I
Quit it. But yes,
The first time I went to Detroit to see him, I finally understood why American cars handled like shit for 45 years. Compared to everything else.
Right. Very true.
I'm like, oh, it's all a straight line and everything's just a 90-degree grid.
That's Florida.
Yeah, same there too.
That's where I'm from. So I mean, that's what we got.
Yeah,
Straight line.
when I lived down in South Florida for 8 years, and everything there, if you're in a fast car, it was just highway runs, or turnpike, and that was it. It was just like, oh, how fast can we do a roll race?
Yeah,
or we go up to Moroso or something. Or
now they
what is that?
Moroso,
or it's Palm Beach International
PBR,
now.
yeah, that's my home track.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's where he runs.
Well, my shop's down the street from there.
Oh,
so,
it is.
Yeah, I'm not far.
Oh, you're in Jupiter.
I'm in Stewart.
Oh,
so I'm 40 minutes from the track at best.
Yeah, I know that area very well. My sister lived in Stewart for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds like we could make a few more shows with you guys.
Yeah. But cool. I thought for some reason, I thought you were coming out of Midwest as well.
No,
Yeah.
too cold for me.
I make him come up there in the dead of winter and everything else. And
I haven't done
I'm
that
like,
yet.
hey, it's 20 below, Mario. We need some help up here, buddy. Can you come up?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man. Yeah, that's a blast from the past. Moroso, Palm Beach International. How is that track now?
The track is good if they prep it. I feel like sometimes we don't get the best love on test and tune nights and things like that, but the facility is nice if they would just, spend that extra time.
Have you done the road course since they've redone everything? Or?
I have not.
Okay. I used to really
The
enjoy
old
the
one,
road
yeah,
course.
they used to drift on it.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah, I may have done some stupid things there. But we knew people that ran the place.
There you go.
That worked out. But that was college. That was many years ago at this point. So, all right. So, probably wrapping up here now. Where can everybody find your stuff?
All right. So we got a Speedkore booth, which is going to be if you're facing GM right to the right.
That's Core with a K.
Yep. Speedkore with a K. And basically Magnaflow's booth, obviously, where we are.
Yep.
And Rich is a great guy, great host, and I love the products. So that wheel drive, twin turbo, wide body chargers here. Motool's booth has the world's fastest Demon. And we're welcoming any takers that want to take on the record. So it makes us better as well.
Absolutely.
And then
Website, Instagram, the usual.
yeah, Speedkore1, follow us. And, the other thing, I always tell people, email us, ideas and, be creative. And I'm always looking for talent. And I just want to find younger generation, guys that want to learn stuff. We can't find enough good help, people that want to make carbon fiber. Or maybe you want to TIG, or you want to be making cages or frames or whatever we're doing, or even other CAD guys, 3D printing. We're doing all that stuff under our roof, and we're just trying to, have another wave of, innovation. So
you're looking for young fabricators and engineers.
Anybody that actually has a passion, wants to learn, and can take direction. You're the best employee if you're that.
Doesn't mind Wisconsin winters.
Yeah, that's the killer. I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah.
Yeah. I've got family in Milwaukee, so yeah. But I grew up in New England, so I'm familiar with shit weather. And Joe's from Detroit, so
yeah.
Well,
we know how it is.
Yeah.
Never seen snow, Bo.
No, but you had to deal with hurricane landfall like I did.
That's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, I was in St. Lucie when we got hit with that year. We got hit with 2 Category 4s in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I live, St. Lucie.
Yeah, we got fucked up.
And no power for like a month.
Yeah, it wasn't
crazy.
that long for us, but we had boats in our yard, and we were half a mile from the water.
We get it, Florida. You got to be hard to live in Florida.
Or stupid. It helps either way. All right, well, that's it. And
Hey, thanks for
I
having us.
appreciate you guys having us. I got to thank Magnaflow once again for having us and hosting us here. Go to Magnaflow's website, buy their wonderful exhaust product. And this has been Fuel Cult. I'm Chris Hayes. And
I'm Joe Cucar.
No, you're Cariotti.
Joe Cariati.
Yes. And
Only because there's another Italian paisan on the panel here.
all right, and that's it for Fuel Cult.
Bye.